welcome to this GC People Leader Series interview. I'm Shann from Rensburg, and here today with me is Phillipa from RecruitMyMom, the award-winning online recruitment agency, and more recently also Recruiter Graduate. Welcome, Phillipa, and thanks so much for joining me today.
Hi, Shann. It's really lovely to be with you, and thank you for your time as well.
That's great to chat. Phillipa, you recently completed the GC Index, and your profile suggests a high game changer polisher. You've had a really successful career. You are an entrepreneur. You have championed the world of women in business and more flexible work. How does your GC Index profile underpin your success, would you say?
Yeah, it's, the GC Index was a really interesting process to go through, and the game changer proclivity of mine, I could completely understand why it was needed in terms of achieving what I have done in terms of business, because I think that as an entrepreneur, and I think many entrepreneurs will relate with this, is that you've got an idea that you believe has legs, and then you've actually got to bring it to market. And it's that that ability to be able to see something in the market that doesn't exist, and then to be able to bring it to life, that I think the game changer underpins in probably a lot of entrepreneurs. It's quite an obsessive thing, is when you suddenly see an opportunity and you want to make it happen. And I think that that's where the game changer has helped me enormously in bringing not one, but a couple of businesses to market, which I've done in the past.
Super. Yeah, absolutely. And can you describe for me a time when you felt that your role was most in tune with these proclivities?
Yeah, so I think whenever I start something, I feel that I'm very much in tune with that game changer proclivity. And as I mentioned, I've started several businesses, and it's almost like an adrenaline rush that happens to us. I'm not sure whether other game changers feel the same, is that you starting something that you firmly believe has value and that you need to bring it to market. And it's so energizing. You become completely obsessed with it. Your family probably takes strain because of it, and everybody else takes strain because of it. But it's that ability to hone in on something and firmly believe that it can bring to market that I think it's very energizing. So it made a lot of sense for me after having done the GC Index.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Isn't it amazing when we can work in that almost sweet spot where I almost call our zone of genius, where you're just excited and energized to actually do work, which is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the flip side of the coin, can you think of any roles where you have felt less in tune with your proclivities?
Yeah, so it's an interesting time. So this recording is being done now at the moment in COVID-19, in our lockdown period, and it's been a real time of change for us as a business. And being in recruitment, one can well imagine that it's been tough. And so what's happened is that I've had to not be in my game changer polisher type natural proclivity, but really getting into the detail of the business in the day-to-day, what I sometimes call the drudgery of what is it we're doing, and really motivating people, because I've got a whole team behind me, and having to step out of what is naturally my strengths into what is not my strengths. And it's actually quite draining, but it is something that I'm learning about, and it's something that I'm certainly learning to do better, but it is draining, I must admit.
Yeah, I can imagine that sort of implementing and as you say, that almost drudge work that doesn't give you the energy, but you know that it has to be done.
Yeah, and taking on, because your staff are taking strain, is you end up taking on things that possibly they don't have capacity for, just because, everybody's taking, the psychosocial, problem that is being seen at the moment. And so I've just found that I've taken on more and more across this period to alleviate my staff. And as you say, getting into that implementer role it's not easy. We do it, but it's not easy. It takes a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Phillipa, that game changer profile can be quite exhausting for those around us, especially those people who don't see what we see. Can you talk about some of the skills that you may have had to develop along the way to get the best out of your proclivities?
Yeah, you're right. I think that we have a tendency as game changers to possibly exhaust our teams. So I have a tendency of having many ideas. So I'm thinking up ideas, and I thrive on activity. So I'm constantly thinking of things we can be doing and bettering and polishing, and realizing that actually I'm exhausting my team because I'm not an implementer. So I give out an enormous amount in terms of my thinking and my ideas, but I don't always bring people along with how I got there or how they could possibly get there. Or I needed to learn to step back and recognize that I'm actually loading too much on people, and they're also not sure, so is this a real idea, or is this something I need to go and explore and implement? And so my communication, I've really had to work on. I've also had to rein myself in terms of saying no to some of the ideas that I come up with, and saying, actually, this is not the time, or hold back on it. And those are skills that I wasn't naturally aware of. They were probably my blind sides that I have come to realize and know, and to now really work on. And also to recognize, okay, this is an implementer type task. So have I got people in my team that would be better suited to completing it, and then being able to hand that over to people who are better suited to doing it than even myself.
Absolutely. Yeah. Could you tell me a bit more about that? Those sort of people that you've had to found that you've surrounded yourself with in order to help you succeed over the years?
Yeah. So, because I'm not a fine detail person, as a polisher, you are actually detail focused, but the detail in an implementer versus the detail in a polisher, they're two different focuses, even though they're both around detail. So the detail of the polisher is, how do I make sure that what I'm bringing to market is of excellence and being seen by your market as being excellent? And it has to do, it's quite, I would imagine, quite closely linked to the game changer proclivity, in terms of ensuring that what you're bringing to market is very clear. Whereas the implementers, where they delve into the detail of line upon line, number upon number, letter upon letter, is really hard going for me. And so to have people around me that naturally thrive on that, so they don't want to be in my strategy sessions or in my big thinking brainstorm sessions. They just love having what they need to do and doing the detail of that, is like a godsend to me. I absolutely value them enormously, because they do what I'm not good at. And I've needed those people around me, definitely.
Excellent. Great. Phillipa, thank you so much. It's really been super chatting to you and gaining your insights from your GC Index profile. I also wish you huge amounts of luck as we enter this next phase, and as I would imagine online work as well as virtual work becomes so much more of a normal thing in our world. And so I see you going places in terms of that, and your game-changing ideas of what you've got around that. So best of luck.
Thank you, Shann. I really do appreciate it. And, it's been great doing this GC Index. I've gained a lot from it, so I appreciate it. Thank you.